Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our online Bhagavad Gita reading retreat lab. So, in the last session, we have covered from verse number 14 till verse number 16 of chapter number 8, that is attaining the Supreme. And in that session, we have seen how Krishna is urging Arjuna to engage in pure devotional service by remembering him without any deviation. And there is no impediment in such devotion, pure devotional service, and one can easily attain Lord Krishna. In today's session, we will read from verse number 17 till verse number 22, and in this session, we will see how material and spiritual worlds have been compared. So, without any delay, now let's move to the Vedabes, and we'll start reading your translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada from chapter number 8, verse number 17. Translation. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Purport. The duration of the material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice. And the yugas in the yuga last 1728,000 years. That is 17 lakh 28,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts 12 lakh 96,000 years. In the Dwapara Yuga, there is even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts 8 lakh 54,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice. True virtue being practically non-existent, and this yuga lasts 4 lakh 32,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the Yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as the Kalki avatar, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas, rotating 1,000 times, comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number comprise one night. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then dies. These 100 years by Earth's calculations total to 311 trillion and 40 billion Earth years. By these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as the lightning flash. In the causal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord in the management of this universe. Therefore, he at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet in the material universe and which survives all heavenly planets in the upper strata of the planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subject to death, according to the law of material nature. Now we will move to the next verse, that is chapter number 8, verse number 18. Translation. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Now we will move to the next verse, Chapter number 8, verse number 19. Translation. Again and again, when Brahma sees arise, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Purport. The less intelligent who try to remain within this material world may be elevated to higher planets and then again must come down to this planet Earth. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world. But as the coming of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies for material activities, and at night they no longer have bodies but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, they are manifest as the arrival of Brahma says, Bhutva Bhutva Saliyati. During the day, they become a manifest, and at night they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they are all annihilated and remain unmanifest for millions and millions of years. And then Brahma, and when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are again manifest. In this way, they are captivated by the spell of the material world. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use the human life fully in devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thus, they transfer themselves even in this life to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subject to such rebirth. Now we will move to the next verse, that is chapter number 8, verse number 20. Translation. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Purport. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the seventh chapter. Now we will move to the next verse, that is chapter number 8, verse number 21. Translation. That which the Vedantis describe it as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as a supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Purport. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described in the Brahma Samhita, a Chintamani Dhama, a place where all desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of Lord Krishna, known as Golak Vrindavan, is full of palaces made of tough stone. There are also trees called desire trees that supply any type of eatable upon demand. And there are cows known as Surabhi cows, which supply a limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune, Lakshmi, and he is called Govinda, the primal Lord, and the source of all goddesses. The Lord is accustomed to blow his flute, Venum Santam. His transcendental form is the most attractive in all the world. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like the color of clouds. He is so attractive that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He wears saffron cloth, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather in his hair. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Golaka Vrindavan, which is the supermost planet in the spiritual kingdom. A vivid description is given in the Brahma Samhita. Vedic literatures, Katha 1.3.11 state that there is nothing superior to the abode of Supreme Godhead, and that abode is the ultimate destination, Purusham na param kinchit tasya param gati. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Krishna's supreme abode and Krishna himself are not different, being of the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavan, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of that supreme goal of Vrindavan, located in the spiritual sky. When Krishna descended on this earth, he sported on that particular tract of land known as Vrindavan, comprising about 168 square miles in the district of Mathura, India. Now we will move to the next verse, chapter number 8, verse number 22. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Purport: It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Person. The Brahma Samhita describes the supreme abode as Ananda Chinmaya Rasha, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. All the varietedness manifest there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. That varietedness is expanded as the spiritual expansion of the Supreme Godhead Himself. For the manifestation, there is totally of the spiritual energy as explained in chapter 7. As far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he is nonetheless all pervading by his material energy. So, by his spiritual and material energies, he is present everywhere, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. Yashantasthani means that everything is sustained within him, within either his spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all pervading by these two energies. To enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated here by the word bhaktya. No other process can help one attain that supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopala Upanishad 1.21, also describe the supreme abode and the supreme personality of Godhead. Ekavasi Sarvaga Krishna. In that abode, there is only one supreme personality of Godhead, whose name is Krishna. He is the supreme merciful deity, and although situated there as one, he has expanded himself into millions and millions of plenary expanses. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still, yet bearing very many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. The plenary expanses of the Lord who preside over the Vaikuntha planets are four arms, and they are known by a variety of names: Purushottam, Trivikrama, Kesava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Hrishikesha, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Sridhara, Vasudeva, Damodara, Janardana, Narayana, Vamana, Padmanabha, etc. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode, Golaka Vrindavan, he is all pervading so that everything is going on nicely. Goloka eva nivashati akhilatma bhuta. As stated in the Vedas, Vritavasara Upanishad 6.8, Parasya Sakti Vividhavya Stute Sroviti Janavalakriya. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw. Although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. So, with this, we have completed this section of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 8, that is from verse number 17 till verse number 22. And just to summarize, we have seen that the material world is miserable and temporary, as it has been illustrated by the constant cycle of universal creation and destruction. And by hearing this description, one gains the detachment from this world. In the verse, specifically from verse number 20 till verse number 22, we have seen the eternal nature of the spiritual world is described here, as well as the means to attain it, devotional service to Krishna. So this is a quick summary of verse number from verse number 7 till to verse number 22. So in the next session, we'll be completing this chapter number 8, and we will cover from verse number 23 till verse number 28. and we are going to see the supremacy of devotion in attaining the supreme. So now we will stop here. Hare Krishna.